Welcome to Windows 10. I want to give you a brief and short tour so you can get up and running and using the new operating system from Microsoft. So they took some of the best ideas from Windows 7, some of the good ideas from Windows 8.1, brought them all together, skipped number 9, and ta-da! You got number 10. So as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, when you click on the Start button, you get your Start menu back. But you get the best of both worlds. So you get your Start menu, where you have your most used programs, right here. Then it will show you your recently added programs. And to the right is those tile apps that you had before. And they work very similar to that Start screen in Windows 8.1. And we'll look at that a little bit later. The other really cool thing about this Start screen, you can resize it. So you can just move your mouse to the edges where that two-headed arrow is. Hold down the left mouse button. You can actually drag it. You can make it a little bit longer or bigger. If you want to make it a little bit wider, you can as well, to the right side. And you just click out in the open when you're all done. The other really neat thing is at the very bottom, you'll see that little circle. You can click here in this box to search or type anything you're looking for. Maybe it's a program on the device. Maybe it's how to do a setting. You can even look up things that will look up in the internet for you here as well. But if you do have a microphone on your computer, you can talk to it. So this area is called Cortana. And to talk to it, you do this. Hey, Cortana. How do I use Windows 10? As you can see, it will pop it up in your internet browser, whatever your answer is, which is pretty cool. You can actually just click in that text box, and Cortana will bring up some interesting items. It'll bring up, the weather, the news items, things that are interest of you. It will kind of see your habits. One really great way is to come here, just click in this text box, and on the left hand side is this thing called the notebook. So you want to click on this icon, and you actually want to click on each of these items, and you want to go through if you want to turn them on or off. So it's really good if you go through them, look at each of the settings. You can even add different items if you would like. So categories that you're interested in, click add category, or topics that you might be interested in, you can do that as well. So I really suggest that. Clicking on this notebook right here, and just click on each category, change those settings, because then Cortana is going to show you information that you like, things that you want. So that's a really good idea. And if you're not sure what you can do with it, you can even do this. Hey, Cortana. Help. And she will show you all the different items that you can do with it. So you can say these things, you can type them into that little search box. So it's really helpful. Cortana is actually the name of the personal digital assistant, all-knowing computer in Halo, which is a game on the Xbox, which is made by Microsoft. So hence now Microsoft has Windows 10. They brought that same kind of character name to this feature. One thing I like to do is just to type in it. So let's say I just want PowerPoint. I can just type in that word, and there's PowerPoint right there. I could say it as well, or type it in, and it will find it. The other really neat thing, you can put file extensions. Let's say PPT, and it's going to find all of my PowerPoint files for me. So if you just put in the file extension, it can search through as well to find those, which is pretty cool. And you can ask it any types of questions. So maybe you want to connect a Bluetooth item. So we just type Bluetooth, and you should get your Bluetooth settings. Say my stuff. There it is, radio and privacy settings. So that's where you would go. Let's say you just want to update your computer. You should be able to just type update or say that, and it will bring those in. So you have two buttons down here. One looks on the web, one just looks on your device. So I'm going to click My Stuff, just kind of filter a little bit. And there it is, Windows Update Settings, or check for updates. So that's pretty cool. It's very useful. The other thing you're going to get here at the very bottom is this new item called Task View. So to see how that works, let me open a couple things. Open a calculator. Let's say Microsoft Word. And let's say we go on the internet. How does that sound? So click on the internet. So I have a couple things that are open right now. So if I click on this Task View button, look at that! It shows everything that I have running right now on the computer. And super easy just to click on one item and use it. Come back here. I'm going to go back on the internet. So that's pretty cool. But when you click on the task view, you got this other area right here at the very bottom. You can have several different desktops with stuff going on. So let's say this desktop 2 right here. I can put stuff on it. So all I do is I don't click on them, but if I just hover my mouse over one of them, you can see it pops up. And I can drag these items to these other desktops. So maybe desktop 2 is going to be the internet and the calculator. So let me drag that over here. And maybe desktop 1, I'll keep the Word program running. Alright, so this is pretty cool. I'm on desktop number 1, and now I want to flip to desktop number 2. All I do is click on the task view button, click on desktop 2, and look at that. I have all my different programs that are running here in desktop 2. It's a whole different screen, which is pretty cool. Another way you can kind of multitask is the Windows key and your tab key. So that's one way that you can flip through open items as well, which is pretty cool. One of my favorites that you might have used before is Alt Tab. So Alt key and the Tab key. And that's a really cool way just to flip through everything that's open. And it will actually open that desktop that that item exists in too. Now I'm going to show you how to change the settings so you can see everything running right here. It doesn't automatically do this, so I'll show you how to change that setting. And then when you don't want any more of the desktops, you just come back to Task View, and all you have to do is you can close out of this second desktop, and it will move all those programs back to desktop 1 for you. So they're all there, which is pretty neat. If you want to create additional desktops, you can use this plus button in the bottom right corner, which is really useful. So you can have 3 different desktops going with different programs. Maybe email, internet, your calendar, maybe a Word or PowerPoint program running in the other. So they're very unique and they can be full screen in each of those. Well, that's not all. So I have all these things. I can actually move them to different parts of the screen. So if you drag your windows to the right side, it can snap, and then it will automatically say, what do you want on the other area of your window? So you just click on the program and it snaps it for you, which is pretty cool. But you can drag, it can actually make 4 corners now, not just 2 sides. So you can have up to 4 programs running at the same time. But you might have to resize your windows just a little bit to drag them. So I think it looks at the size of the window as well. So it's a little tricky right now. You can always use your Windows key and your arrow keys. So the Windows key and the up, down, left, right arrow, and they help to snap as well. So as you can see, that's a little bit easier to do the quarter. So I'm doing Windows key and the down arrow. If I do up, it puts it up there. So you can kind of play with the Windows key and your arrow keys to kind of move the windows around. But I really like this because this is a lot of different windows. I could have my email, the internet, a program I'm working on, all at the same time. And to close out, just click the X's in the corner and you're good to go. The other really neat thing you're going to get is this new browser called Edge. And this is taking the place of Microsoft Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is actually in Windows 10. I'll show you how to find it. But Edge is their new browser, and it has some neat features. I like it once it's very simple. Right here at the very top center, if you just move your mouse there, That's the address box or your search box, so you can just type in things you're looking for or the exact website. You have some real simple buttons to go back and forward on the internet and refresh, which I really like. The plus sign lets you go to a new website or tab. Sometimes you have these websites that want you to type kind of towards the top of the website for searching for a website or items, and you won't see your address box there at the top, but it's still there. You just move your mouse there and click. So it still exists there at the top if you never see it. You just have to click there and it appears. Some of the best features in Edge are on the right-hand side, in the top right-hand side. So if you're on a website or a news article, that has a really neat feature called this reading view, and it's this book feature. So if it's kind of animated like the page you're flipping, or it's lit up as it is now, you can click on it, and it gives you this Kindle-like reading view. So it's really nice. So it takes all those ads, all the busyness around that article, so you can just read the content itself. So I really like that. The reading view makes it a really nice, good experience. You just click on the book again to go back. Not every website or article on the web has it, but if the book is lit up, then that's a great way to do it. Next to it is a star, and you might be familiar with that for making bookmarks. So when you click on it, you can make a favorite, which is a bookmark, or you have this other button called the reading list, which is pretty neat. I like this a lot. So if I click add right here, I can add that article to a reading list. So how do I get to my bookmarks or my reading list? Is this button right here. It's the 3 lines. They call it the hub. So I click on the hub, and from right here I can get to all my bookmarks. But right this button, I get to my reading list. So here's the article. I just click on it, and it's going to load up that article when I have time to read it. Well, if I go back to the hub, and if I don't want that article anymore, I can right click and I can remove it. So once you're done reading, you can just remove it here from the reading list. This is really great where you don't have to bookmark something as a favorite that is in your bookmarks forever. This might be just an article you just don't have time right now to read. You're really interested in it. Add it to your reading list. When you're all done, just right click and remove it. You can also get to your history and your list of history of all the different downloads that you've had as well, which is pretty neat. Well, some of the other features in the top right hand corner is the share button with those 3 dots. And when you click on it, it makes it really easy, whatever you're looking at on the web, to share it out by email, which is really nice and helpful. The other button that you have is these 3 dots. So when you click on that, that's where you can get to your settings, such as printing, finding text on a page, zooming in and out. You may have in private window. That means if you clicked on that, you could go to a website. It doesn't track your cookies or your history. And then you have settings right here as well. So you click settings. And this is what I really like to do. I like to set my home page. So I clicked on a specific page, came down here and typed the web address, and it adds it as the list. So you can have one or several different pages that load up. So you can do that within the settings. Also, if you scroll down, you can choose that reading view, the font size. Maybe you want that reading view, that Kindle-like reading experience, a little bit larger, so you can make the text a little bit larger. You can choose your style for what the color looks like, if it's light, medium, dark background. So I like that sepia kind of color, that kind of tone, the tan tone that they had. If you click on the 3 dots, a couple other settings you have is you can open it with Internet Explorer here. So this is called Edge. This is Microsoft's new web browser. But if you wanted to, maybe the website doesn't work yet in Edge. It should, but maybe some don't. You can always click here to open it in Explorer. So that's a nice feature as well. All right, I saved the best for last. My favorite feature is now this tool right here, this Make a Web Note tool. So if I click on Make a Web Note, this tool right here with the pencil, this is pretty cool. You're going to get a marker, a highlighter, a eraser, even a comment box. So maybe I can click the pen, I can draw, you can even circle things, annotate things. Then you can even add comments. Right here, click, type in my note. Now, the notes and everything that you have, you can save them in the top right hand corner. You can save them for yourself, so you can always look back at what you annotated, what you typed as your comments or notes. But next to it is a share button, so you can click on that, and you can actually share this to another person by email. They'll get the picture of the website, all your annotations, they'll see the notes that you took on it as well. So that's pretty neat. And then when you're all done, just click exit and you're out of there. Other features they have in the bottom right hand corner, this symbol right here is your Wi-Fi. Then next to it is your speakers, but this is a new guy right here, notifications. Before you used to have that flag, I think that was the icon down there. But now when you click on notifications, it's more like a mobile device. So you have all your emails that are coming in, you have your different notifications of programs, which is pretty cool. The other thing I really like about this is that you have this area called tablet mode. That used to be what was called the start screen in Windows 8.1. So if I click tablet mode, you're going to see it's going to change the computer to this kind of Windows 8 looking. So the same thing, you can scroll through the icons that you have. You can tap on them. So it works very similar to that start screen that we had before that you did. You have your hamburger button that you can get to the start menu still in the top left. Also in the bottom left, that's where you can get to your all programs or apps. So this little guy is all your apps. And then that's how you shut down or power off. If you don't want that anymore, just click on your notification, just click tablet mode off, and you're back to the regular desktop view. So you can get that other screen if you wanted to. You just have to turn it on. If you have one of those devices that's a laptop, but you can take the screen off and it becomes a tablet, it can automatically go to tablet mode once you take the screen off, which is pretty neat. Alright, the last thing is just a couple settings I think that are good to change. So you go to the Windows button in the bottom left, and you go to settings right here. So you click settings, and you get this new settings window, which I like a lot. So let's start with system right here. And from here, there is that area called tablet mode. And this is where if you want it to automatically go to tablet mode, you can turn that on when the device is no longer attached to the keyboard. Here, multitasking, this is what I suggest, making sure all of these are on, and that's going to allow that Alt tab that we saw earlier today with the task view to show you all your programs that are running, and it's going to show you all your programs that are running on the taskbar. If not, each desktop only shows the programs that are running on each taskbar on the desktop. So if you turn this on, super easy to get to every program that is running on your computer. So make sure that all these settings are turned on. The other item I would really suggest to go to is this network and internet. And from here, you're going to want to stay on Wi-Fi, but scroll all the way down and click Manage Wi-Fi Settings. And you're going to want to turn these items off. Make sure they're set to off, both of them. What this Wi-Fi Sense is, it's a new feature in Windows 10, but it's kind of controversial. What it's doing, it's keeping your Wi-Fi and the password to connect to your network, and any of your friends in your Outlook email or your Facebook contacts, if they ever come to your house and they're using a Windows 10 device, it will automatically log them into your Wi-Fi. So it sounds nice, especially for guests, but not everyone in your email contacts, not everyone in your Facebook contacts are like the bestest friends in the world that you want on your network at your own home. So, other ideas I have is, once friends come over, you can share your Wi-Fi password with them to connect. Or the best idea is almost every router that you have in the home has a setting that you can set to guest mode. So when guests come over, you can turn that mode on, and that information is found in the manufacturer's guide. So you can Google search. So let's say you had a Motorola router. You can look up Motorola router, how to turn on guest mode. And you'll probably find a YouTube video or instructions on a website how to do that. So my suggestions are turn this off. Family, friends that come over, share that password to get on your network, or turn on a guest mode on your router. Alright, so click the back button. And a couple other things that you have is under the system. We'll go back there, I'm sorry. And power and sleep. So this is a big one. So you want to kind of change how often it goes to sleep on you. This is pretty neat too, storage. It will kind of show you how much space that you have on your device, which is really nice. And there's a brand new item here called privacy. So we'll click on that. And you might want to go through here because this is showing everything that's on or off for these different privacy settings. So let's say location, camera, microphone. So you have a lot of different items here. Radios is Bluetooth. So let's say you want to add a different account to the device. You just come right here to accounts. And this is where you can change your sign-in options. How you sign in, if you want a PIN or password or picture or touch, you can do that. You can add different family members to it. You can even do a other user. I added a guest account in case family or friends come over and need to use a computer. So you can use the other users area to add a guest account. And personalization, which is many people's favorites. The neat thing is it can actually take a color within the picture of your wallpaper to make the highlighted elements color of your menus. Or you can choose the colors yourself. So when you go to colors, you can choose an accent color, or I turned that off right here and I just picked my own color to go with it. Because I think if I do accent color, it's like this yellow color. I didn't like that. So I chose a purple color instead. One of my favorite colors. Alright, when you're all done, you just close out. If you're not sure where a setting is, just type it in this box. And then when you're all done, just close out. You might like that control panel. You can still get to it. So in that Windows key in the bottom left corner, if you right click, you can still get to control panel. So you might be really used to this type of menu to get to your settings, and that's okay as well. You can still get to it. Now let's look at the start button. So the first part that you have in the top left are your most used, and these just will pop up as you're using the programs. You can't really change them or move them in the list too much, but what you can do is you can right click on them and you can remove them. Don't show in this list, so they're not there in that list anymore. So let's say paint, I can say don't show this on the list, and the next program will come up. So it shows like the top 6. This area is a little controversial. This is going to show you your recently installed programs, but it's also going to have suggestions from Windows. So it might show like the Candy Crush app there that maybe it's not something that you wanted. So they're also going to push a little suggestions from their app store, things they want to kind of promote in this area. Down below, this is your File Explorer, so you've used that before to find all your different files. Below that is the settings, which we were just at. Then your power to turn it off. And look at this. This is where all your apps live now. So you click on that. They're alphabetical order. One really nice area, if you scroll all the way down to the W's, is the Windows accessories. That's always been there. So if I click on it, that's where Internet Explorer now lives. But you have some other free items here as well. That's where Paint is. The snipping tool is great to take little pictures of the screenshots. A steps recorder. Sticky notes, a lot of people like that. WordPad, kind of a free word processor with no spell checker. So you have those free programs there as well. So that's still here. So it's the Windows accessories underneath the W. Then click back. One other area I like on the left-hand side is your name up at the very top. So if you click on that, it's a real easy way to sign out or change your account settings, such as the picture or image that you're using. Over here on your tile side, Um, when you go to the Windows Store, you can always add them to here. To remove them, all you do is right click on it and you can unpin it, you can resize them, you can turn the live off, like the weather you see is kind of flipping in the news, so you can turn that live off as well. You can actually hold down the left mouse button and drag these wherever you want. And if you move them to different groups, you actually name the group. You just click right there where the title is above the group and you can name it. You can use these two little lines here to move a whole group up or down, which is really nice. So you can kind of customize what this tile side is. And I would recommend spending a little time there to make sure that works for you, things that you want to get to as well. Alright, hope you like your quick introduction into Windows 10. There's lots of really neat features, very user-friendly, and one of my favorites is Cortana now, the searching at the bottom, and the task view to get to all your open programs or make more desktops. And then you can't forget the new Edge browser. Thank you very much. Hey Cortana, how do you say thank you in German?
Here's how to say thank you in German. Danke.